Let's see thymus gland. Thymus gland is a soft bilobed structure. Thymus gland is a soft bilobed structure enclosed in a connective tissue. It was enclosed in a connective tissue capsule. It is located within the mediastinum. Did you remember the cavity mediastinum? That the cavity after the lungs. That means that in the thoracic cavity, lungs are there. The space between the two lungs, we say mediastinum cavity, where the heart is going to be situated over. In that mediastinum cavity only. Now our thymus, we need to place our thymus also, located in the mediastinum, in front of the aortic arch and behind the upper part of the sternum. Location we are talking, extending from the root of the neck to the pericardium. Address we said now. Thymus gland. Okay. So the thymus gland is a soft bilobed structure enclosed in a connective tissue capsule, which is located within the mediastinum, in front of the aortic arch and behind the upper part of the sternum, extending from the root of the neck to the pericardium. So the thymus gland varies in size from person to the person. It is usually relatively large. At what time? During infancy and early childhood, we can find a larger thymus. Thymus is larger in size. Okay, so as long as the age is growing, that means when it reaches the puberty, that the size of the thymus gland is coming to reduce over it shrinks, and in adult it may be quite smaller. That means the size of the thymus gland by the growth process, when the age is growing, that is going to be reduced into the small. In elderly person, adipose and connective tissues are going to replace this lymphatic tissue. In elderly, as here age is not given, so just for general say, from 0 to 12, the size of the thymus gland will increase. And after that, slowly it starts to decrease in the size. And finally, by 18 or 20, a maximum of 25 age, the thymus gland completely reduced over and replaced by that adipose and connective tissues that you need to remember. What is the function of thymus gland? We'll see the function. Let's go through this. Connective tissues extend inward from the thymus surface, subdividing into lobules. The lobules contain large number of lymphocytes that developed from the precursor cell originating in the bone marrow. Basically, that we know there are two types of lymphocytes, isn't it? T lymphocytes and B lymphocyte. If we start story from the blood region, we should say like this. We'll start from there, no matter. We'll let us start from there. In WBC, there are two types of cells, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Then granulocytes are acidophil, basophil, and neutrophil. Agranulocytes are of two types, lymphocytes and monocytes. Okay, lymphocytes are of two types, T lymphocyte and B lymphocyte. We started story from here. So now our hero is T lymphocytes. Let's talk about T lymphocyte. T lymphocyte. What is the meaning of T? T means thymic lymphocytes. Thymic lymphocytes. Any lymphocyte, there must be three stages can be seen over. For any lymphocyte, there are three stages. One is production, and the second one is maturation, and the third one is activation. Okay, so production, maturation, and activation. The three stages can be seen over. Production, maturation, and activation. So when we will talk about the T lymphocytes, the T lymphocyte production occurs at production of the T lymphocytes at bone marrow. Whatever B or T, anyone, production is going to be in bone marrow. Okay, so the second stage is going to be maturation. So maturation, the maturation of the T lymphocyte, just I am now talking about T lymphocyte, maturation of the T lymphocyte occur in thymus. That's what we are talking about, function of thymus. Connective tissues extend inward from the thymus surface, subdividing it into lobules. The lobules contain large number of lymphocytes. Which lymphocyte? T lymphocyte that developed from the precursor cells originating in the bone marrow, which means the production of the T lymphocyte occur in the bone marrow. But what happens in this particular thymus gland? They are going to mature. Maturation of the T lymphocyte. Based on the maturation only, we are given the name for T lymphocytes as thymic lymphocyte. Okay, so majority of lymphocytes present in the thymus are thymocytes or T lymphocytes, we can say. Okay, so then these thymocytes in generally remain inactive. However, some of them mature into T lymphocyte. This is the function, which leave the thymus and provide immunity. So what they're saying, in the thymus, there are so many cells, we call them as thymus cells. They are produced in the bone marrow, will come here, and in this area, that some of the cells, we call them as thymic lymphocytes or T lymphocytes, will become mature, and their matured T lymphocyte leave the thymus and provide immunity. That is the third phase, activation. Okay, so basically there are three stages: production, maturation, and activation. Production of T lymphocytes occur in bone marrow. Maturation of the T lymphocytes occur in thymus. Okay, thymus, and then activation. That means when any microbe will come, they attack on the microbe and they do. So they are powerful actually. That we'll discuss in the next chapter, immunology. Okay, so epithelial cells within the thymus secrete a protein hormone called thymosin. A protein hormone said to be thymosin. What is the function of thymosin? Thymosin is going to stimulate the maturation of the T lymphocyte after they leave the thymus and migrate to other lymphatic tissue. Other lymphatic tissue means they have to migrate into the places where the microbe entry is possible. We call them as secondary lymphoid organ. That we'll discuss in next in immunology. Okay, so that's it all about thymus gland. So what to be remembered? Thymus gland is considered as child gland. Thymus gland is considered as child gland. Why thymus gland is called child gland? Because that the size of the gland is going to be reduced over the long as the age is growing. So that's why that almost it degenerated. By the age of 25, you don't find thymus gland. Almost getting degenerated over. Okay, so that's why we call it as the hormone thymus gland. Its secrete is thymosin. What is the function of thymosin? Simply we need to remember thymosin for the maturation of the T lymphocyte, where they get produced in the bone marrow, but maturation of the T lymphocyte is possible with the help of a protein hormone called thymosin. This is the thing you need to remember. I know by seeing all these, you may have doubt like that, sir, if we don't have a thymus gland, so where does the T lymphocytes will come for maturation? This doubt will come in mind, isn't it? See, as we are saying, by the age, thymus gland is degenerated over. So if thymus gland is getting degenerated, so where do the T lymphocytes will come for maturation? That our answer that in the aged people, we don't find they will find very less number of T lymphocytes. That's why we are saying the immune system of aged people is comparatively less powerful than the younger generation. The young one are having that T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, but the count of T lymphocytes comparatively less in the older people, isn't it? So that means there is no place for the maturation for the T lymphocytes after these. But as long as the thymus gland present, we have T and B lymphocytes. But afterwards, that actually thymus gland is having a little bit participation in the production of antibodies of the B lymphocyte also. So that means very important, but will degenerate over a period of time. Okay. So this is all about the story of thymus gland. This is the reason why we say in the age group, in old age people, comparatively immune system is weak in compare with the young one. Okay.